The Lord said, "You have been mourning for those who should not be mourned for, yet you speak words of wisdom. Neither for the living nor for the dead do the wise grieve."
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor these kings of men. Never will there be a time hereafter when any of us shall cease to be.
Even as the embodied one passes in this body through the stages of childhood, youth, and old age, so does it pass into another body. Calm, wise souls are not bewildered by this.
Notions of heat and cold, of pain and pleasure arise, O son of Kunti, only from contact of the senses with their objects. They come and go, they are impermanent. Endure them, O Bharata.
That calm man who remains unchanged in pleasure and pain, whom these cannot disturb, alone is able, O greatest of men, to attain immortality.
The unreal never is. The real never ceases to be. The conclusion about these two is perceived by the seers of truth.
That by which all this is pervaded, know to be imperishable. None can cause the destruction of that which is immutable.
Only the bodies of which this eternal, imperishable, incomprehensible self is the indweller are said to have an end. Fight, therefore, O Bharata.
He who looks on the self as the slayer, and he who looks on the self as the slain, neither of these apprehends aright. The self slays not, nor is it slain.
It is never born, nor does it ever die, nor having once been, does it again cease to be. Unborn, eternal, permanent, and primeval, it is not slain when the body is slain.
He who knows the self to be indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable, how can that man, O son of Pritha, slay or cause another to slay?
Even as a person casts off worn-out clothes and puts on others that are new, so the embodied self casts off worn-out bodies and enters into others that are new.
Weapons cut it not, fire burns it not, water wets it not, the wind does not wither it.
This self cannot be cut or burnt or wetted or withered. Eternal, all-pervading, unchanging, immovable, the Self is the same forever.
This Self is said to be unmanifest, incomprehensible, and unchangeable. Therefore, knowing it to be so, you should not grieve.
But if you think the Self repeatedly comes into being and dies, even then, O Mighty One, you should not grieve for it.
For to that which is born, death is certain, and to that which is dead, birth is certain. Therefore you should not grieve over the unavoidable.
All beings are unmanifest in their beginning, O Bharata, manifest in their middle state, and unmanifest again in their end. Why then lament for them?
Some look on the Self as a wonder. Some speak of it as a wonder. Some hear of it as a wonder. Still others, though hearing, do not understand it at all.
The Self, which dwells in all bodies, can never be slain, O Bharata. Wherefore you should not mourn for any creature.
In this, no effort is ever lost, and no harm is ever done. Even very little of this Dharma saves a man from the great fear.
In this, O joy of Kuru, there is only one resolve and unwavering thought, Bodhi. But the thoughts of the irresolute are many-branched and unending.
Be free, O Arjuna, from the three gunas. Be free from the pairs of opposites. Be always established in sattva. Do not try to acquire what you lack or preserve what you have. Be established in the Self.
To the enlightened Brahman, all the Vedas are of as much use as a pond when there is everywhere a flood.
Being established in yoga, O Dhananjaya, perform your actions, casting off attachment and remaining even-minded, both in success and in failure. This evenness is called yoga.
Endowed with evenness of mind, one casts off in this very life both good and bad deeds. Therefore, strive for yoga. Yoga is skill in action.
The wise of even mind renounce the fruit of action. Freed from the fetters of birth, they attain the state that is beyond all evil.
When your mind, Buddhi, has crossed the mire of delusion, you will achieve indifference regarding these things already heard and things yet to be heard.
When your mind, now perplexed by what you have heard, will stand firm and steady in the self, then you will have attained yoga.
The Lord said, O Bharata, when a man completely casts off all the desires of the mind, his self finding satisfaction in itself alone, then he is called a man of steady wisdom.
He who is not perturbed by adversity, who does not long for happiness, who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a Muni of steady wisdom.
He who is not attached to anything, who neither rejoices nor is vexed when he obtains good or bad, his wisdom is firmly fixed.
When he completely withdraws the senses from their objects, as a tortoise draws in its limbs, then his wisdom is firmly established.
The objects of the senses fall away from a man practicing abstinence, but not the taste for them. But even the taste falls away when the Supreme is seen.
When a man dwells on objects, he feels an attachment for them. Attachment gives rise to desire, and desire breeds anger.
From anger comes delusion. From delusion, the failure of memory. From the failure of memory, the ruin of discrimination. And from the ruin of discrimination, the man perishes.
The man of self-control, moving among objects with his senses under control, and free from attachment and hate, attains serenity of mind.
In that serenity, there is an end of all sorrow, for the intelligence of a man of serene mind soon becomes steady.
The man whose mind is not under his control has no self-knowledge and no contemplation either. Without contemplation, he can have no peace. And without peace, how can he have happiness?
In that which is night to all beings, the man of self-control is awake, and where all beings are awake, there is night for the Muni who sees.
Not the desirer of desires attains peace, but he into whom all desires enter, as the waters enter into the ocean, which is full to the brim and grounded in stillness.
That man who lives completely free from desires, without longing, devoid of the sense of I and mine, attains peace.
This is the state of Brahman, O son of Pritha. Attaining it, one is no longer deluded. Being established therein, even in the hour of death, one attains final liberation in Brahman, Brahmanirvanam.
The world becomes bound by action, unless it is done for the sake of sacrifice. Therefore, O son of Kunti, give up attachment and do your work for the sake of the Lord.
But verily, the man who rejoices in the self and is satisfied with the self and is content in the self alone, he has nothing for which he should work.
He has no object to gain by what he does in this world, nor any to lose by what he leaves undone, nor is there anyone among all beings on whom he need depend for any object.
Therefore, always do without attachment the work you have to do. For a man who does his work without attachment attains the supreme.
The senses are superior, they say. Superior to the senses is the mind. Superior to the mind is the understanding. Superior to the understanding is the self.
Therefore, know the self, which is superior to the understanding. Control the self by the self, and destroy, O mighty Arjuna, the enemy who comes in the guise of desire and is hard to overcome.
Whenever there is a decline in Dharma, O Bharata, and a rise of Adharma, I incarnate myself.
Freed from passion, fear, and anger, absorbed in me, taking refuge in me, and purified by the fire of knowledge, many have become one with my being.
In whatsoever way men approach me, even so do I reward them, for it is my path, O Bharata, that men follow in all things.
He who sees inaction in action, and action in inaction, he is wise among men. He is a yogi, and he has performed all action.
He whose undertakings are all free from desires and self-will, and whose works are consumed in the fire of knowledge, he, by the wise, is called a sage.
Giving up attachment to the fruit of action, ever content and dependent on none, though engaged in action, he does not do anything at all.
Free from desire, with body and mind controlled, and abandoning all possessions, he incurs no sin through mere bodily activity.
Satisfied with what comes to him spontaneously, beyond the pairs of opposites, free from envy, and even-minded in success and failure, though acting, he is not bound.
The works of a man whose attachment is gone, who is free, and whose mind is established in knowledge, melt away entirely, being done as for a jnana.
To him Brahman is the offering, and in Brahman is the oblation, and it is Brahman who offers the oblation in the fire of Brahman. Brahman alone is attained by him, who thus sees Brahman in action, by samadhi in Brahman action.
Learn it by prostration, by questioning, and by service. The wise who have seen the truth will teach you that knowledge.
When you have known it, O Pandava, you will not again fall into delusion, and through it you will see all beings in yourself and also in me.
As a fire well kindled reduces wood to ashes, so, Arjuna, does the fire of knowledge reduce all karmas to ashes.
Verily, there exists no purifier on earth equal to knowledge. A man who becomes perfect in yoga finds it within himself in the course of time.
He who is full of faith and is devoted and has subdued his senses obtains knowledge. Having obtained knowledge, he soon attains the supreme peace.
But the man who is ignorant and without faith and always doubting goes to ruin. Not this world, nor the world beyond, nor happiness is for the doubting soul.
Therefore, with the sword of knowledge, cut asunder this doubt about the self, born of ignorance, residing in your heart, and devote yourself to yoga. Arise, O Bharata.
Nor does the all-pervading Spirit take on the sin or the merit of any. Knowledge is veiled in ignorance, and thereby mortals are deluded.
But for those in whom this ignorance is destroyed by the knowledge of the self, that knowledge, like the sun, reveals the Supreme.
Fixing their minds in Him, at one with Him, abiding in Him, realizing Him alone as the supreme goal, they reach a state from which there is no return, their sins having been destroyed by their knowledge.
Those whose minds are thus set on sameness have even here overcome birth. Brahman is untainted and is the same in all. Therefore, in Brahman they rest.
He who knows Brahman and is established in it, he who is undeluded and is steady of mind, he neither rejoices when experiencing what is pleasant, nor is distressed when experiencing what is unpleasant.
His self being unattached to outer objects, he finds the joy that is in the self. His self being devoted to the contemplation of Brahman, he enjoys undying bliss.
The yogi who is happy within, who rejoices within, and who is illumined within, attains freedom in Brahman, himself being one with Brahman.
With sins destroyed, dualities dispelled, self-controlled, and devoting themselves to the welfare of all beings, the sages attain freedom in Brahman.
Let a man be lifted up by his own self. Let him not lower himself, for he himself is his friend, and he himself is his enemy.
To him who has conquered himself by himself, his own self is a friend, but to him who has not conquered himself, his own self is hostile, like an external enemy.
He who has conquered himself and is serene in mind is constantly absorbed in the Supreme Self, alike in heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and honor and dishonor.
He is said to be a steadfast yogi whose heart, through knowledge and realization, is filled with satisfaction, who, having conquered his senses, never vacillates, to whom a clod, a stone, and gold are the same.
When the well-controlled mind rests in the self alone, free from longing for objects, then is one said to have attained yoga.
As a lamp in a windless place does not flicker, that is the figure used for the disciplined mind of a yogi practicing the yoga of the self.
That in which the mind, restrained by the practice of concentration, rests quiescent, that in which, seeing the self through the self, one rejoices in one's own self.
That in which one knows the boundless joy beyond the reach of the senses and grasped only by the understanding, that in which being established one never departs from reality.
That on gaining which one thinks there is no greater gain, and wherein established one is not moved, even by the heaviest of sorrows.
Let that be known as yoga, which is severance from the contact of suffering. It is to be practiced with perseverance and with an undaunted mind.
Supreme bliss comes to the yogi whose mind is completely tranquil and whose passions are quieted, who is free from stain, and who has become one with Brahman.
One united with yoga, viewing all things with equal regard, he beholds himself in all beings, and all beings in himself.
He who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, to him I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me.
He who, having been established in oneness, worships me, dwelling in all beings, that yogi, in whatever way he leads his life, lives in me.
And of all yogis, the one who worships me with faith, his inmost self abiding in me, him do I hold to be the most closely united with me in yoga.
There exists nothing whatever higher than I am, O Dhananjaya. All is strung on me as a row of gems on a thread.
Not knowing my supreme nature, immutable and transcendent, Foolish men think that I, the unmanifest, am endowed with a manifest form.
I, O Arjuna, know the beings that are of the past, that are of the present, and that are to come, but me no one knows.
And whoso at the time of death leaves his body remembering me alone and goes forth, he attains my being. Concerning this there is no doubt.
But beyond this unmanifested, there is yet another unmanifested eternal being who does not perish when all beings perish.
This unmanifested is called the imperishable. It is said to be the ultimate goal, from which those who reach it never come back. That is my supreme abode.
By me, in my unmanifested form, are all things in this universe pervaded. All beings exist in me, but I do not exist in them.
And yet the beings do not dwell in me. Behold, that is my divine yoga, my divine mystery. Myself, which is the support of all beings and the source of all things, does not dwell in them.
As the mighty wind blowing everywhere ever rests in the space, know that in the same manner all beings rest in me.
I am the goal and the support, the Lord and the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the friend. I am the origin and the dissolution, the ground, the treasure house, and the imperishable seed.
Those persons who worship me, meditating on their identity with me, and ever devoted to me, to them I carry what they lack, and for them I preserve what they already have.
I am the same toward all beings. To me there is none hateful or dear. But those who worship me with devotion, they are in me, and I too am in them.
Even the most sinful man, if he worships me with unswerving devotion, must be regarded as righteous, for he has formed the right resolution.
He soon becomes righteous and attains eternal peace. Proclaim it boldly, O son of Kundi, that my devotee never perishes.
Fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice to me, bow down to me. Having thus united yourself and regarding me as the supreme goal, you will come to me.
He who knows that I am unborn and without a beginning, and also that I am the Supreme Lord of the worlds, he, undiluted among mortals, is freed from all sins.
I am the origin of all. From me all things evolve. The wise know this and worship me with all of their heart.
With their minds fixed on me, with their life absorbed in me, enlightening one another about me, and always conversing about me, they derive satisfaction and delight.
On those who are ever devoted to me and worship me with love, I bestow the yoga of understanding by which they come to me.
Solely out of compassion for them, I, dwelling as the Self, dispel with the shining lamp of wisdom the darkness born of ignorance.
I am the Self, O Gudakesha, seated in the hearts of all beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings.
Those who have fixed their minds on me, and who, ever steadfast and endowed with supreme faith, worship me, them do I hold to be perfect in yoga.
And those who have completely controlled their senses and are of even mind under all conditions, and thus worship the imperishable, the ineffable, the unmanifested, the omnipresent, the incomprehensible, the immutable, the immovable, the eternal. They, devoted to the welfare of all beings, attain me alone and none else.
Fix your mind on me alone. Rest your intellect in me alone, and in me alone you will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt.
Exceedingly dear to me are they who regard me as the supreme goal, and, endowed with faith and devotion, follow this immortal Dharma.
I will now describe that which ought to be known, through the knowing of which one attains immortality. It is the Supreme Brahman, which is without beginning, and is said to be neither being nor non-being.
Its hands and feet are everywhere. Its eyes, heads, and faces are everywhere. Its ears are everywhere. Its existence envelops all.
It shines through the functions of all the senses, yet it is devoid of senses. It is unattached, yet it sustains all. It is devoid of gunas, yet it experiences them.
It is without and within all beings. It is unmoving and also moving. It is incomprehensible because it is subtle. It is far away, yet it is near.
The light even of lights, it is said to be beyond darkness. As knowledge, the object of knowledge and the goal of knowledge, it is set firm in the hearts of all.
Free from pride and delusion, having conquered the fault of attachment, ever abiding as the Self, completely turned away from desires, liberated from the pairs of opposites known as pleasure and suffering, the undiluted reach that immutable goal.
It, the sun illumines not, nor the moon, nor fire. It is my supreme abode, and they who reach it never return.
He who, undiluted, knows me thus as the Supreme Self, he knows all, O Bharata, and he worships me with all his heart.